Good morning, everybody. Shane with Ripped Inflatables. It is a gloriously moist evening out here, or morning. It's morning. I just woke up, so maybe I get my days and my nights confused. I get my days confused. Last week I went and supposed to pick up bees on Wednesday and ended up picking them up on Thursday. Didn't even know. So, anyways, welcome to customer states. Customer requested to have a D-ring reinstalled. Then called me up and said, hey, the seam blew out. So let's watch what happens when I inflate this thing. So I inflated this boat pretty immediately because it was soaking wet and I don't like to store wet boats. And I was hoping that this would be a D-ring and a seam blow. And the seam blow is pretty obvious, but it's pretty big. Not hard to find the problem, or at least the obvious problem. However, that seam right there is starting to show the same signs. Now, I usually tell people this when I work on PVC. There is going to be the same problem continuing elsewhere. It's what happens to the glue. I said if a D-ring's popped off or a couple D-rings have popped off, and then a seam blows, that's usually a sign that the glue is failing systemically throughout the raft. It may not be showing it everywhere right now, but it is going to fail again. And I'm not trying to pick on this manufacturer. You know, to me it's just a blue boat. I don't like to say names. I may have the name in the video though. But it's important when you say you need a D-ring installed to look at everything else. Here's the handle. That's pretty stuck there. And it's pretty stuck under there, but it's coming apart. So that handle needs to be replaced. And let's see, there's that handle. And then look at this D-ring. Yep. Oh man. Oh man. No heat, no boat. Pop goes the weasel. So there's two D-rings. Oh, hold on. 3 D-rings. There's where that's where the second one was. So this side has been affected. This handle, it's starting to peel, and in multiple places here and back here. And then, of course, we've got this seam. And it goes all the way down under the floor. Like the floor's starting to peel. And then we got this seam. Not as bad, but the same issue is happening. And that is a sign that it's about to go kablooey. It's right here. This is nice and firm where this is attached to here. But this buckle is where the tube is not attached to the inner seam tape. And it's starting to push its way out. And then we got some more lift happening here. And we've got a little bit of a peel. Oh, look, you see that? Another seam blow that's going to happen. And this D-ring, a little stuck in the middle, but it's starting to peel top and bottom. It's tough to say. I'm saying this is a dead boat. The reason why I say that is not because this is going to be its first repair on all of this. Let me show you. See this D-ring? Man, it is attached. But if you get in closely, you can see the overglue where it was put back down. And it looks like they did a really good job. But it's the rest of the boat. Now let's keep looking, because I know I've already seen this elsewhere. And this is the same tube that is going to be fixed on the other side. Overglue. All the way around that seam tape. All the way down to the floor. And down the shape seam. Customer wanted to spend about 200 bucks. 200 bucks is about 3 hours of labor. This is going to be more than 3 hours of labor. It may seem like just slopping some glue on doesn't take that much time, but it all takes time. There's multiple seams, there's multiple D-rings. The D-rings need to be rebuilt before they're put back down, or else you're just gonna pull the D-ring out of the center of the D-ring and leave the base down on the boat. A little bit how I work half an hour increments. So if I need to put a outside seam back down, I'll probably charge half an hour. If I got to do an inside seam, that's 2 different glue rounds, that's an hour. If I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seams and a couple of D-rings and a handle, we're looking at, I don't know, 5 to 6 hours labor. That adds up. And pretty soon, your inexpensive raft becomes an inexpensive firewood tarp, or whatever you choose to do with it. It takes time to do all this, especially to do it right. And I think that by fixing something right, I'm going to expose problems further down the line. And it's sort of like, to me, an ethical thing. I don't like to tell people with a PVC product of anything that I'm going to fix their boat. I try to put a guarantee on my work. However, usually when I've done that and I've had the boat come back in, it's always been beyond where I repaired, on PVC at least. Now, I'm not saying my work's perfect every time. That's why I put a guarantee on my work. If I do something, glue acts up, whatever, I'm gonna stand behind it. But I can't stand behind boats that are leaking everywhere, because I know that I'm gonna fix the leak and I'm gonna pull to the point where the glue has failed the worst, and I'm gonna get to a nice solid point, and I'm gonna pull and tug and be like, all right, I can do this now. I can fix this seam from here forward, and it's gonna hold air again. And it will hold air again. It's just a matter of how long. And this is the battle right now. There's a container shortage, there's supply chain issues, there's, I'm not even gonna talk about the gas, because I went and got gas last night and I didn't have to wait, but I live in the middle of nowhere. I did have to buy premium though, and my truck doesn't know how to act with premium in it. I mean, it's a 91 gem. You can't push it any faster. So I'm gonna let this boat dry out. I'm probably gonna blow all the few worms out, and I'm probably going to advise this customer not to fix this boat, because I'm going to have to charge him to do it, and it's not going to be, to me, the thing that should be done. I know people want their boats to last forever, and if you do, and you get a PVC boat, you really need to learn how to put your seams back together. I'm sorry. It's just, I don't want to give my work away. It's sort of my livelihood. But the boats have a number of different issues that have occurred throughout the years. That's a good way to say it. That's just a good way to say it. I've seen welded boats that have delaminated the seams, which means I can't re-weld. I have to glue. I've seen, like this, just catastrophic failure. And this isn't the first time. This isn't its first rodeo. This would be its second repair. Or third. Who knows when all this stuff happens. And once I get it back together, it's going to go down river, and I think it's going to get a little hot in the sun. And typically with PVC, the heat is a big killer of the glue. I don't know what it is about the glue. I don't know whether the glue just lost its magic over time. That's a good way to put it, isn't it? It's got its magic. Or they didn't put enough accelerant in, which lowers the heat resistance of the glue, or at least the type I use. And there's this other thing that someone once told me, gas polymer migration. And that is where the PVC continually off gases. It cures, but it cures perpetually throughout its life cycle. And this gas that escapes the PVC negatively affects the glue. So that could be another issue. That could be the issue. But what I've typically noticed is the glue gets a little gummy, especially if I can, get it a little hot. It's a cold morning. I don't know if you can tell. I got my hoodie on. And it's really not all that cold, but it's nice to have a warm layer on right now. Y'all want to see me rebuild this thing? Please say no. Please say no. Yeah, maybe I will. Tough call. Someone's going to be without a boat if I say no. Or they're going to spend hours in their garage just to have the failure happen again. Now, how can I say this for certainty? Because I see a lot of rafts, and I don't have all the rafts I've said were dead. And some of the rafts I've said were dead I've actually fixed. But there's a stack of PVC. That blue boat with the black floor, that's PVC. Here's the boat that I've cut up, blue, that's PVC. I've seen a lot of PVC failures, and this goes with rafts, it goes with the inflatable kayaks, it even goes with SUPs. Certain manufacturers seem to be doing better than others. Holla! But other manufacturers don't. I've got one board in here, and a rep sent it to me, and I fixed the seam blow, and then I fixed 2 more seam blows on that same visit because one was evident and the other 2 occurred afterwards. Then he paddled it around for a bit and he brought it back to me because another seam blew. Or I say another seam, it's the same seam, it's just in a different location. And so I think I repaired a couple seams then, and then he was paddling it across the lake and it started to started to piss out of one of the seams pretty aggressively, and I think he said he had some duct tape and he got it back to shore. Why would you carry duct tape in this up? So anyways, he got it back to shore, and then they took the power boat back and rolled it up, and then I fixed it again, and he gave it to me at this point in time. He's a rep, he gets more boards. So he gave it to me, and where's it at? It is under that piece of cardboard. So I fixed it, and I went to the beach, and I took multiple sups. I took 2 sups, and I took a ducky. Now all of these were given to me, and I fixed all of them. You know, another rep from another company gave me one of the other sups, and a customer abandoned a double ducky on me because he didn't want to fix the nose cones. So what I did was I fixed the nose cones, and that survived the beach. It got inflated, it went out in the ocean a couple times, it sat on the deck most of the time, but it still functioned, and it held its air all the way through the trip, and now it's been folded up, and I tested it this spring, and it's still good. And I think underneath it was the sup that I took, and it lasted as well. But that other one, I inflated it on the deck, and before I was done inflating it, another seam blew. At a certain point in time, you gotta call it quits on trying to fix stuff. You're going to run in circles, and you're gonna fix every piece of that boat inch by inch, and it's gonna take you forever. You're gonna get more enjoyment by disposing of it and replacing it. Now that's easier said than done right now. Again, container shortage, supply chain issues. Well, if you're in my area, a lack of gasoline, but not a lack of diesel. Sometimes you gotta weigh it out, and I have to weigh it out for customers a lot of times. And I don't like having to make those calls for customers, because it really breaks their hearts, and I feel it negatively reflects upon me. But I'd rather negatively reflect upon somebody for not taking their money than for taking their money and telling them that they're going to need to spend more money. It's just the way it works. Labor is a lot cheaper there than it is here. This is America. We are a first world country. It's what we deal with. Maybe I need to look into getting a repair facility somewhere else and containering boats and taking them back and forth. Anybody want to help support me on that? Drop some comments down. Maybe I can come up with some merch or a GoFundMe or something, but I need to buy my building, and I need to do all kinds of things, and they're not happening as quickly as I can because I've been spending a lot of time talking to the camera and not putting videos online. So maybe I need to do that too. Conundrums, things I need to do. It's raining. I have to urethane outside. I've got boats ready to be urethaned. I've got boats needing to be taped up to be urethaned, and boats that need to be ground and urethaned, and private repairs. So I need to quit talking to y'all, but keep in mind when you buy PVC, you're buying a short-term product, generally speaking. There are exceptions to the rules that I just gave you, but you're going to be buying something that's not going to last as long as Hypalon because the glue has not been figured out yet. And I'm going to eat my words one day, and y'all are going to say, hey, look, you said the glue would never work, but here it is. And I've seen it work. I've seen 20-year-old PVC boats that I've fixed an issue, and it's gone for 2 more years. I can't say when it's going to be, but I can see when it's systemic, that it's not going to be something you want to keep chasing, because I've chased. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share. Maybe one day we'll meet each other. Have a good one.